Okay, so let's take a look now at navigating the scene port that is. We're also going to take a look at some other features related to it called framing and selecting. We'll see those in just a bit. Now, the first thing that I like to do when I know that I'm going to be working in the viewport quite a lot is to maximize my screen space. We have all of these panels, the inspector, the project panel, the hierarchy panel, and they're in our face quite a bit, showing us a lot of properties that we don't need to see. So let's move our mouse cursor over the scene viewport here and press the space bar on the keyboard, and we can maximize our viewport like so. It's a toggleable feature, so I can press space bar again to exit out of that. It's also interesting to note that I can hover my mouse over any other panel or view here, for example the project view, and I can press space to maximize that, space to come out, and I can do the same for the inspector, the hierarchy panel, and any of the Unity views that are available. So I'm going to move back to the scene panel here and press space to maximize our screen space. Okay, so the next thing I want to have a look at is what is called the pan tool, and the pan tool allows us to drag really with our mouse and move around the viewport. I'm going to select the pan tool. It's up here, the hand icon here. I'm going to click that. I could also press the Q key on the keyboard. Either way, I'll end up with the pan tool, and the pan tool works simply by clicking and dragging with the mouse. I can click and drag my viewport here, click and drag from left to right to move my viewport this way, and I click and drag and move the mouse up and down, and I can elevate my view. Now, I can also access the pan tool by holding down the middle mouse button and moving my mouse again, and by dragging. For example, if I just select this tool up here for a moment and I hold down my middle mouse button and drag, you will notice that as I do so, the pan tool will change and become selected up here, like so. Okay, the other thing that you'll notice, if I move back to the pan tool a second, is that when the pan tool is active, I can't select anything in my viewport. It's not possible to select any objects in the viewport. So the pan tool is useful not just for moving around the viewport, it's also useful when you want to protect yourself from accidentally selecting something in the scene. The next tool to look at is the dolly feature. Now I can access that simply by just scrolling my middle mouse wheel, and I can scroll in and out of the level. Just scroll my wheel and I move in and out. Notice what this is not doing. This is not zooming. Some people might call it zooming, but it is not actually zooming. In zooming, the camera remains stationary and the focal length of the lens changes to bring distant objects into view. But with dollying, what is actually happening is the camera is moving closer to the object. So it's the camera that's moving, and that is what is happening here. I can also rotate my view by holding down the right mouse button on the mouse and dragging my mouse to bring other parts of the level into view. Now, with these three features, of pan, the scrolling, and the rotation, I can combine these together and effectively move absolutely anywhere in the level.